I would like to tell you about a very scary dream I had. This is the story about a horrifying dream that I had that had a near-death experience in it. Something horrifying like Final Destination, but hopefully without the future prediction of something ominous and looming coming over my life. I'm really scared to be sharing this. Actually, I'm really excited to be sharing this. I was scared in the moment because it was probably one of the scariest moments of my life, which is weird because this is a story about a dream. So this did not actually happen, well, the story itself, the experience did happen, but the dream itself was a dream, so it was fake, but who knows, maybe it was a premonition. You ever have those dreams that predict the future? Dreams that tell you this thing might happen? Well, they don't actually tell you that, but something happens in the dream, and then it happens in real life? I don't know. Maybe you have had that experience. If you have, I do not envy you, because that sounds really terrifying, and like I said, a Final Destination-like experience. But for this particular dream, no, I have not passed away yet. Knock on wood. This is actually not wood. This is plastic, a plastic table. But knock on plastic, hopefully this does not happen to me in my real life. So in the dream, I was in a building with a lot of glass windows, and it resembled the middle school that I used to go to various years ago. This was a while ago. Actually, no. Was it middle school? Was it high school? Was it high school? I think it was middle school. I do not remember. It was a school that I went to, middle school. It was a middle school that I went to several years ago. And it was a really interesting experience because some of the building looked unfamiliar. Sometimes, and I feel like this is a case for a lot of people, at least that I hear in articles and in experiences and videos that people talk about their dream experiences, where a location may seem familiar, but there is still enough of it that looks vastly different and almost resembling a different setting. What I know is that a lot of people have talked about their experiences and they say that something may resemble their house in a dream. And rooms may appear in the same places that they were. Some other rooms may be different. For example, your bathroom may not be the bathroom in your dream. It may be the living room. Well, the door that leads to your bathroom in real life could be the door that leads to your mystical, magical man cave, where you go to watch Super Bowl highlights and play poker with the guys. Who even knows what happens in the world of dreams? Who even knows who controls it? Is it the Dream Master? The mysterious man that comes into your house every night and sprinkles sand on you to make you go to sleep? Is that him? Is that guy? Who do you think that guy works for? What do you think his job is? How do you think he got his job? Is it even a job? Is he doing it as a weird, twisted hobby? Hello, come hire me. I'm on Craigslist. I will come to your house and sprinkle sand on you. That would be really creepy and really disturbing, but hopefully that man's making enough money to live, to survive. Dreams are weird. And in this dream, I want to start at the beginning. I was in this strange building that resembled my school, and I go to this room. The reason why I say rooms can appear differently in dreams is because in this room that I found myself in, it was not a room that I recognized from school. It was kind of like a theater room, right? It was a theater, there was a big stage, there were tons of rows of seats, and there were kids gathered, that's the word I'm looking for, English is difficult, in a crowd in costumes. So it seemed like there was some sort of play or production going on. And you had this teacher who was standing in front of all of them being like, okay everybody, we're gonna get ready. I don't remember if it was actually a teacher or an older student. It was some authority figure. And they were like, guys, we need to get ready for this production that we're having, is basically what they said. And all the students, some of them looked really disappointed, I remember. They had these faces of just, I do not want to be here doing this, which that is typically probably the experience for a lot of musical kids who get signed up at a really early age, because you have to be dedicated to the craft, I have to say. If you want to be good at acting, if you want to step up to the stage and be your real acting self, if you want to put on the big performance that everybody wants to see, you know, it's kind of like being a Twitch streamer or a YouTuber or a guy that goes out and dances in public for money. You have to be ready for that. You have to put on your big showmanship face that says, I am an actor, I'm a performer, I'm out here giving you all the best production that I can possibly give. And I am the extension of drama. That is who you are, an extension of drama. You are no longer a human being, you are a product of the stage or the subway floor. I saw people dancing on subway floors before. Germ-filled floor. They start doing the splits on there. I'm like, man, you know how many people probably spit on that floor? Yeah, do the splits on that. And they do it, and they get so many germs. They're like, ah! Bubbles! The point is that the kids in my dream did not want to be there. And as I was leaving the room, this is where the scary part starts to happen. Chapter 1 of it, at least. There were 3 chapters. The first chapter, first level of it, was I start choking. You ever have that moment in life where you get some oxygen or some water, you take a wrong breath, or water starts going down the wrong pipe, and it goes down into your stomach the wrong way, and then you forget how to breathe? That is how I was feeling in the moment. I could not breathe at all. But it was way worse than just that, than I took a wrong breath. No, I actually could not breathe. I couldn't take in any oxygen in my lungs at all. From there is where we get to level 2. And this is where it really starts to get scary. Level 2, I could move my body, but my head was completely frozen in place. I could not turn my head in any direction. It was kind of like when I was a boxer for a while and I got hit so hard by this really muscular kid, way stronger than me, way bigger than me, that I could not turn my head to the right for about a week. Got better after that week. I could then start to turn it. I could start to look over at my friend in class after he was telling me a funny joke about the video games that we played or the cartoons that we saw the other night. I'd be like, oh, God, oh, God. And I felt that creak in my neck that really made me realize how vulnerable I was at 15 years old. How non-immortal I was, and how vulnerable I was to taking a hard hit. But that's what it felt like. I could not move my head at all. I could move my arms, I could move everything else. And I remember in the dream, there was a point where I grabbed my head. And you know how in a cartoon, like in Looney Tunes, if a character gets hit really hard, like I did in my boxing dream, like let's say you punch them in the face and their head starts twisting. And then there's that moment where it's completely still. They grab it and they're like, and then it twists around. Real cartoony, right? Real Chuck Jonesy. Well, that is what this was, basically. My head was frozen as I was suffocating, as I could not breathe, and I was trying to just hold on to it and just twist it around, but nothing was working. Nothing was happening. I could not turn to look at anybody, and this is where it gets to level 3. As all this was happening, I realized my head can't move, and I cannot take in any oxygen. I'm looking around. I'm in this cafeteria area. Now, in this particular setting, you have the rows of tables that is pretty standard if you go to a typical school with a typical cafeteria. And then to the left of me is what was unique to my school. Our cafeteria had this large group of large glass panels situated looking towards the backyard of the school, which was like the playground. So you had that with the large glass panels. You had the place where you would go in, line up to get your food, which was like this big booth kind of in the center of the cafeteria. And then to my right was the row of tables. So I'm there, I see somebody running past me, and they run down the hallway, take a right, and then run down that way. And I see them, they pay no mind to me. They're just completely ignoring me as I am dying here in the middle of the freaking hallway, and I can't even move. So this is where it starts to get scary, because then I can hear myself screaming for help. You know how sometimes in a dream you can say something and you know you just said something, but maybe it doesn't like click with you after you wake up, or maybe it's something that you say but it's like in the dream, like you think or you say it. I don't think you can actually comprehend thoughts in a dream. Maybe you can, someone let me know. But you say something in a dream. I could feel myself trying to say it. I could feel myself actually thinking, help, someone please help, but nothing was escaping my mouth. The words were caught in my throat because I could not breathe. I could not do anything. I could not say anything to get the words out of my mouth. And I saw this person run by me, and I said, thinking, help me, but the whole time I'm like, hands at my head, trying to turn, trying to do anything, and I'm just stuck there. I am suffocating to death in the hallway of the school I used to go to. So it is at this point that I wake up. Everything faded to black. The dream stopped. I woke up. I was panting. And it was right after I had eaten breakfast and had a morning walk in the beautiful summer morning time. Woke up after having that dream. I was like, my God, what caused that dream?